In the winter of 2026, a chill settles not just over the landscapes of Washington, D.C. and Kiev, but over their diplomatic relations as well. The US-Ukraine alliance faces its toughest test yet, a test that will determine the resilience and future of this crucial partnership. The days of simple heroism and unconditional aid are gone, replaced by a more complex and demanding reality. Now, both nations are bound by a grinding conflict and tough political realities, where every decision carries weighty consequences. Decisions made in the halls of Washington and Kyiv will shape not just the war, but the future of European security and global stability. The initial shock of invasion has faded, replaced by a pervasive war fatigue and deepening political division on both sides of the Atlantic. In the US, every dollar and weapon is now debated. Consensus has fractured, and the once unified front is now a battleground of opinions. In Ukraine, unity is tested by economic hardship and the pressing need to prove its worth to allies who are increasingly distracted by their own challenges. For Ukraine, survival is at stake. For the US, it's a test of global leadership and credibility, a chance to reaffirm its role on the world stage. The relationship has matured, some say grown more cynical, as both sides navigate the complexities of modern geopolitics. Grand gestures have given way to tense negotiations and managed expectations, where every agreement is hard-won. The American public is divided, and questions about cost and commitment dominate the debate, reflecting a nation at a crossroads. Ukrainian leaders must now fight on the battlefield and in the halls of Congress, where every speech is a plea for continued support. Every move is scrutinized for its impact in Washington, where political analysts dissect each development with fervor. The easy promises are over. Now comes the hard part: sustaining support amid political headwinds and shifting priorities. The conflict's end is uncertain, and this uncertainty shapes every strategic decision, casting a long shadow over future plans. 2026 is the moment of truth, where alliance rhetoric meets the reality of limited resources, and the true strength of this partnership is revealed. At the outset of the conflict, U.S. military aid to Ukraine was both rapid and immense. Plane loads of Javelin anti-tank missiles, HIMARS rocket systems, and a wide array of advanced weaponry were delivered at breakneck speed. These shipments were not just symbolic, they were lifelines, arriving when Ukraine's very survival hung in the balance. American equipment was rushed to the front lines, empowering Ukrainian troops to hold their ground and push back against overwhelming odds. The initial objective was clear: prevent Ukraine's collapse and send a powerful message to the aggressor that the world would not stand by. But by 2026, the nature of support has evolved. The strategy is no longer just about immediate survival. Now, aid is more selective and strategic, with a focus on long-term sustainability and building lasting capabilities. Every aid package is carefully debated in Congress, tailored to Ukraine's evolving needs and tied to specific, measurable objectives. The era of blank checks and open-ended promises has ended. Accountability and effectiveness are now at the forefront. The U.S. is investing in Ukraine's own defense industry, transferring technology, providing hands-on training, and granting licenses so Ukraine can produce advanced equipment domestically. Training now goes beyond combat skills. It emphasizes maintenance, logistics, and the adoption of modern military doctrine, ensuring Ukrainian forces can sustain themselves in the long run. The focus is on building a resilient, interoperable force, one that can operate seamlessly with NATO allies and adapt to future threats. Aid now includes cutting-edge air defense systems, secure communications, and advanced intelligence platforms, giving Ukraine a technological edge. The U.S. is helping Ukraine develop the ability to see the entire battlefield, coordinate complex operations, and command effectively in real time. This war is a marathon, not a sprint. Both sides are preparing for a prolonged struggle, and endurance is key. American support is now designed for the long haul, ensuring Ukraine can withstand pressure and adapt as the conflict evolves. The ultimate goal is a self-sufficient Ukraine, capable of defending itself and less reliant on outside resources. This strategic pivot is about more than just weapons. It's about building a military that can protect Ukraine's sovereignty and independence for generations to come. In 2026, Washington's political climate is the biggest factor shaping U.S.-Ukraine relations. Bipartisan unity has fractured. Support for Ukraine is now a partisan issue. Every aid vote is a political battle, and oversight has intensified. Congress demands transparency and accountability for every dollar and weapon. Reports of waste or abuse fuel opposition and slow aid delivery. The Biden administration now frames support as serving U.S. interests, weakening adversaries, and upholding global order. Ukrainian diplomats face tough questions, not standing ovations. They must prove aid is effective and progress is real. Washington's political calendar now directly impacts military planning in Kyiv. The fate of offensives can hinge on a single vote in Congress. This is the new reality. Every decision is political. Every delay has consequences. The partnership must navigate this harsh, unpredictable landscape. With U.S. support wavering, Kyiv has launched a campaign of reform and reassurance. Military success alone isn't enough. Ukraine must fight corruption and prove good governance. Zelensky's government targets high-level corruption and streamlines procurement. Judicial reform is accelerated, with independent bodies vetting judges. Economic reforms focus on deregulation and privatization to attract investment. The military adopts Western standards and digital tracking for aid transparency. Every anti-corruption success is broadcast to the West. Every setback is a risk. Ukrainian officials must show strength while admitting and fixing weaknesses. The hope: these reforms will reassure Washington and keep support flowing. It's a delicate balancing act. Reform under fire, survival on the line. Diplomatically, the U.S. publicly backs Ukraine's sovereignty and its inherent right to decide its future without external interference. This support is unwavering and is a cornerstone of the U.S.'s foreign policy in the region. But behind closed doors, the conversation is shifting towards a more nuanced approach. The discussions are becoming more complex, reflecting the evolving geopolitical landscape. American officials now talk about a sustainable outcome, a durable peace, not just outright victory. This means looking beyond immediate military gains to ensure long-term stability and security in the region. Kyiv is encouraged to consider long-term security, even if it falls short of total military success. The focus is on building a resilient state that can withstand future challenges. This subtle shift creates tension. Ukraine fears pressure to compromise, while the U.S. worries about a forever war. The balance between immediate needs and future peace is delicate and fraught with challenges. The challenge upholds Ukraine's sovereignty while guiding it toward a realistic endgame. This involves strategic planning and careful diplomacy to ensure all parties are aligned. The U.S. is also rallying European allies in the global south, pushing for a broad coalition to share the burden. This coalition aims to present a united front against aggression and support Ukraine's path to peace. Washington wants to lead a coalition, not be the sole guarantor of Ukraine's survival. By sharing responsibilities, the U.S. hopes to create a more sustainable support system for Ukraine. The diplomatic effort is as critical as any battlefield move. Every negotiation, every agreement is a step towards a more stable and peaceful future for Ukraine. Sustaining global pressure on Russia and broad support for Ukraine is now central. This involves coordinated efforts to impose sanctions and diplomatic measures to deter aggression. The U.S. role is evolving, from primary backer to coalition leader. This shift reflects a strategic move to ensure long-term peace and stability in the region. The search for a sustainable outcome shapes every diplomatic move. Each decision is made with the future in mind, aiming for a lasting peace that benefits all parties involved. The alliance is being redefined by realism and necessity. As the situation evolves, so too does the approach, ensuring that the path forward is both practical and hopeful. By 2026, U.S.-Ukraine economic ties have shifted from emergency aid to long-term investment. The new blueprint: rebuild under fire, not after the war. Focus is on resilient infrastructure, distributed energy, modernized transport, and defensible facilities. The goal: keep Ukraine's economy running and exporting, even during conflict. U.S. support is now tied to reforms, deregulation, tax changes, and property rights. American agencies offer risk insurance to attract private investment in key sectors. The aim: transition Ukraine from aid-dependent to investment-driven. Anti-corruption benchmarks are now prerequisites for economic aid. Only transparent, accountable institutions will unlock reconstruction funds. Building trust and good governance is as vital as building roads and power plants. The war on corruption is now central to U.S.-Ukraine relations. U.S. support depends on Ukraine's ability to clean up its institutions. Anti-corruption agencies, backed by U.S. funding and expertise, target high-profile cases. Digital platforms track aid and contracts in real time, deterring graft. The message: misuse of aid will be caught and punished. The fight also targets systemic corruption, oligarchs, judiciary reform, and bureaucracy. U.S. support includes technical advice, watchdog funding, and diplomatic pressure. This is a marathon, not a sprint, but Ukraine must win to secure its future. The credibility of the partnership depends on real, lasting reform. By 2026, the U.S.-Ukraine alliance is defined by realism, not rhetoric. The relationship is more honest, direct, and sometimes difficult. Strategic planning is now about achievable objectives, not wish lists. U.S. advisors are partners in adaptation, not just trainers. The focus is on sustainable pressure, not sweeping offensives. Economic ties have matured. Investment and reform replace emergency aid. Ukraine must take ownership of its future, with US support as leverage. The partnership is more complex, but also more resilient. Success will be measured over years, not weeks. This is a durable alliance, forged in the crucible of war. In early 2026, the US-Ukraine partnership faces its defining moment. The initial shock of war is over. Now comes the test of endurance. The question is no longer survival, but what kind of victory and peace are possible? Political headwinds and war fatigue threaten both sides. A single misstep could strain the alliance to breaking. Yet the partnership, now more transactional and realistic, remains solid. Shared interests and mutual accountability are its new foundation. US support is more calibrated, but still vital for Ukraine's defense. The decisions made this year will set the trajectory for Ukraine's future and America's global role. The world is watching as history is written in the choices of 2026. The outcome will echo for decades to come.